Hey, what's up? This is All for One here. Last week we talked about different techwear retailers that are probably worth avoiding and a couple of reasons why, but we're not done there because I wanted to show exactly what you do get when you order one of these kinds of products from one of these places. What actually ended up happening was slightly different and kind of surprised me, but I do have a really comically bad pair of Techwear pants here that we can take a look at that really can teach us a couple of lessons. Firstly, about the perils of purchasing cheap techwear. And also, if you're on a budget, it's all the more important to spend it wisely and not waste it on products like this that appear to be cheap or affordable on the surface, but ultimately are going to give you something that is not really going to look good and you're not really going to feel good wearing it. Let's see what we can discover as we further explore the bad techwear saga. Maybe these look okay from a distance, but we're going to be, of course, taking a much closer look into the many ways in which these are totally unwearable, and why rather than making rash bargain purchases, instead slowing things down, taking your time, planning what it is that you actually want, and yeah, maybe you do have to save up for that, you can't buy it immediately, why that kind of attitude is definitely the way to go when it comes to fashion. Get yourself right out of that fast fashion mindset. But what's a great tool to help you plan and organize that kind of shopping and expenditure? Why, ShopTagger, of course, which coincidentally, they are the paid sponsors of this video, so thank you very much to them for that. And if you do want to try and adopt this attitude of investing more in smarter and better purchases, here's exactly how it works. First thing you've got to do is install yourself the ShopTagger browser button. You can do this directly from the link in the description, and it's so easy you wouldn't believe it because Chrome makes it so gosh darn simple to add browser extensions. You probably won't notice the ShopTagger button until you're browsing your favorite online retailer where it's like, hey, sup, how you doing? On a product page, you can click it, select the size and color you want, and it will save that product to your ShopTagger dashboard. Not only can you keep track of stuff, but you can be notified via email or mobile push notification when things come either back in stock or when they drop in price, which can be super handy for securing some bargains. And if bargains are the word of the day, that's your kind of thing, well, when you get to the checkout, ShopTagger can help automatically search for coupons as well, so you might save yourself an extra few percent there too. One thing that I think is pretty useful too, you can organize stuff into dedicated lists, which is what I tend to do for a lot of these videos. So if you've got a particular sale that you're browsing, or you want to keep all the techwear stuff in one place, then you can do that and it's super easy. They've also started doing cashback now, which, as the name implies, you spend some cash, you get some cash back. That works at quite a few different retailers now, so you can build up a bit of a balance with that, and hey, that's free John's money. Anyway, as I say, there's going to be a link in the description below if you want to give ShopTagger a go and see if you find it useful. Now, let's talk about these cargos. I mean, they're pretty techy. Pretty techwear, right? With their little straps and, you've got pockets on there, you've got the slim tapered design, all of those hallmarks that a lot of people like in this space. And yes, I got these for the low price of $12, including shipping, which maybe that sounds like a bit of a bargain, especially because these appeared to be the same as the products being sold on the dropshipping Taobao reseller websites. But the further I looked, the more these exact design of cargos kept popping up. It seems like the original version is that these are made by CATSSTAC, which is one of the Taobao brands, and they have exactly the same product pictures and stuff on a whole bunch of different places. So I went ahead and bought the cheapest pair that I could find using these product pictures on AliExpress. Because hey, I'm not about to overpay for this stuff, right? I don't want to pay $60 for these. First thing I noticed when I took these out of the packet is that these are finished pretty terribly. Pretty much everywhere where you'll find stitching, there is loose stitching at the end of it. There's just random bits of material and string just all over these. I think my favorite example of this is on this pocket here, where it looks like whoever was working the sewing machine just basically accidentally kept running it down into the pocket and then just thought, screw it, we'll leave it. All over as well, this material does not really feel very good. It's a kind of cotton feeling, but also it's kind of hard. It feels like it's been starched or something. It's almost got a slightly like velvety texture as well. It's not stretchy, it's not water resistant. Just, overall it doesn't feel good to hold. It doesn't really feel good to wear. If you look at the waistband too, you'll see some pretty lazily punched holes where the drawstrings come through. Pretty much every kind of little feature and element of these are, pretty low quality and not finished very well. One of my favorite features, I think, is the right-hand pocket here, which Oh, 2 pockets, right? Good for organization, lots of different things. Nope, this is actually just 1 pocket, but they've split the flap in 2 to make it look like it's 2 separate ones. It really does feel like these were designed to be looked at kind of from a distance while squinting with binoculars on, rather than like in any kind of close detail, which I suppose is befitting of brands which sell through kind of Instagram ads and little product images, rather than any kind of close detail or physical shops or anything that would really encourage the consumer to actually scrutinize these in any detail. And in fact, when I did start looking at these in detail, is when I started noticing some really weird stuff. Look at this pocket here, look at this text. This is absolutely bonkers. I've never seen anything like this before. It literally does not make sense. And I don't mean in the kind of regular translated from another language kind of way. It really is just like a semi-random kind of arrangement of letters. It really does look like someone just slammed their head into the keyboard whilst designing these, and to be honest, if I was designing these, I would be doing the same thing. But it made me think, hang on, this can't be right. There is no way that on the product pictures for these it says Land Kiamber Goyu Witio Land Coamb Group. Sure enough, the product pictures show different text, which is more akin to your regular level of Chinese translated nonsense about Earth and Sea or something like that. And then I kind of noticed that the material looked different in the product pictures as well. And then looking at the waistband looks slightly different too. It looks like what we have here, and I basically couldn't believe this myself, not just a resold version or a kind of rebadged version of the CATSSTAC cargoes, but a straight up knockoff version of them. So welcome to AliExpress, where we will make fakes of $30 cargoes, and copyright law is just a suggestion. I genuinely did not expect that. I thought that these brands were the bottom of the barrel, but turns out there is some mold sitting underneath the bottom of the barrel. I looked back at the Techwear dropshipper product pages, and honestly, who knows what you're going to get, because the product pictures look basically the same. In some cases, it looks like they've changed the CATSSTAC logo, which in the original version appears on the pocket here, to say different things. Who knows if you're going to get rebadged CATSSTAC cargoes, or these abominations, or anywhere in between. These legitimately look like they've been reproduced using like a 200 by 200 pixel image of the original. I mean, that would certainly explain the frankly bizarre pocket text. This piqued my interest so much I feel like I have to follow it through to the end, and I know I'm wasting my money, but I'm doing it so that you guys don't have to. You don't have to do these horrible experiments. So I've gone to the official Elfric Eden AliExpress store. I have purchased what appears to be exactly the same cargoes again, and we'll find out exactly what shows up, whether it's the original CATSSTAC version, is it the CATSSTAC version with a different label on it, is it these abominations, is it a can of beans? I'll update you guys when they arrive, hopefully in my lifetime, and we will hopefully get to the bottom of this mystery. Let's go back to these cargoes though, because we've got more stuff to laugh at. I guess I didn't take my own advice from last week's video, and even though I purchased these in extra large, these are clearly still too short for me. No, that's not a look, that's not sock flex or whatever, it just looks bad. And even though there was a triple XL version available, can you believe, they were only I think 2 centimeters longer than these, so either way they would have been too short. Basically, there is no way a gentleman of my stature can be wearing these cargoes. In fact, the whole fit and shape of these is pretty awful. They have a little bit of a drop crotch, but because the material has no stretch to it at all, because the thighs are pretty tight, as soon as you start to move around in these, you can really see that the material is kind of stretching and pulling. It makes it very, very uncomfortable to actually move in. God forbid you try and actually run in these. There's no knee articulation either, which only exacerbates this problem. They are just not pleasurable to wear, especially as these kind of look like, and they have the structure of a pair of, tracksuit bottoms, but approximately none of the comfort you would associate with that. And they don't have any outdoor credentials either. These are not particularly durable, these are not water resistant, so they really have nothing going for them. Oh yeah, look at the straps too. Not only is this nylon webbing extremely thin, these buckles are super lightweight, kind of ugly plastic that just has no kind of rigidity to it. They also don't, if you try and pull these taut, they don't stay that way at all. They just kind of flop down, so they're always going to look a bit saggy. You might, if you're like going for a pair of cargos like this, you probably do want some dangly straps or whatever. But yeah, these are not the ones. These are not the ones that you want. So with all that said, let's take a look at a clip of how to style these. And that is exactly where these are going to be going. There are some serious points to make though on these, I suppose. What I intended for this video to be was showing you guys the kind of product you get when you order from one of those dropshippers. But now I'm almost not so sure. They all use the same product pictures. They all look the same. So it's really impossible to tell exactly what you're going to get. As I say, I have ordered another pair from Elfric Eden, which is one of the dropshippers, so that will show us for sure. But it just goes to show when you start ordering from dodgy websites and retailers, what you see is not what you get. In the case of these, they're a product which seem to fit the hashtag Techwear aesthetic from a distance, but up close or under any kind of scrutiny, not only do they just fall apart visually, but in terms of their construction and how they are to wear and any kind of functionality or usability, they go directly against what the ethos of Techwear is all about. They present fake functionality, they are frankly uncomfortable, so yeah, these are pretty much unwearable. And I don't think I'm being an elitist or trying to gatekeep Techwear by saying that if I purchased these at a fast fashion retailer like H&M or something, I would take these back on the basis that they are terrible quality. It's also a great example not just of you get what you pay for, in this case absolute garbage, but that the difference between bad and good product is so great that it really is worth just spending that little bit extra to get something that is going to perform a lot better, it's going to be a lot more useful to you, and you're going to feel a lot better wearing it. As I said in the last video, I totally get you not wanting to spend luxury fashion money, you know, buying really, really expensive stuff, the absolute top end. You don't have to do that. There are plenty of products that are available much, much cheaper than Acronym or Valence or whatever, and that's all the more reason not to frankly waste money on what appears to be cheap products that at the end of the day are really no good for anything. So my L is your W, I guess, because now you know exactly how not to purchase Techwear and what the absolute pit of fake Techwear products look like. You're welcome. Now I'm finishing this video so I can attempt to flush these out of my memory, but if you enjoyed it, please do give it a like because it's super appreciated, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and we will be back next week with another, hopefully, better quality product or something else to look at. I'm recording this video before the last one is out, so I'm looking forward to seeing how everyone feels about starting to look at some of this real bottom of the barrel, really cheap stuff. I want to make this channel as valuable as possible, basically, in kind of educating people and showing people all the different kinds of things that fall under this kind of Techwear umbrella, rightly or wrongly. And I do want to show people, you know, things that you shouldn't be buying, as well as things that you should, because frankly, that is still important information, and I know there are a lot of people out there who are potentially going to be buying stuff from these kind of resellers or looking at things on AliExpress or Taobao or even Wish or things like that because they just don't really know the right places to look for this stuff. So if these videos just save one person from buying something like this and instead they just kind of hold back and they reconsider what it is that they really want from a pair of cargos or what they really want out of Techwear, then I'm happy. That's my job done. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you want to catch some more, there's going to be videos going up at the top. A whole bunch of different Techwear topics for your viewing pleasure. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then definitely stick around. 50,000! We actually made it. We hit 50,000 subscribers, which is super cool. So thank you so much to everyone for your continued support of this channel. And I'm going to have to think of something fun to do, some kind of cool celebration, or just in general, taking this channel to the next level, because ultimately, the better I can make these videos, better I can make this content, then the happier I am, and hopefully the happier you are as well. But anyway, until next week, catch you later.